Good morning to all of you. In today's class, I am going to handle the subject on evolution of agricultural extension. Now, the term extension was not used for agricultural purposes initially when it was introduced or used for the first time in United Kingdom in the late half of 19th century. This concept is as old as that. But this referred to adult and continuing education instead of agriculture. Later, this term was adopted by the United States, and slowly, gradually, this was being used for agricultural extension purposes. And later on, when it came to India, as far as India is concerned, only by 1928, for the first time, the word extension was used for referring to community development activities and agricultural extension activities. This is how the term extension originated initially. Now, when I say extension education, some people generally think that it is an art subject because it mostly they think that it refers to communication skills, interaction skills, like that. But extension education draws principles from different sciences, namely anthropology, sociology, psychology, and many such disciplines. And of late, the IT technology is also greatly involved in extension education subject, and therefore extension education is by and large an science rather than arts. Okay, and that I wanted to clarify in the beginning. And now extension education goes beyond that. It is an applied science more than a theoretical science. If you just compare with any biological science like genetics or agronomy or soil science, where you will have lot of theoretical concepts, but whereas in extension it is mostly applied. Whatever theory we build, it has got direct relevance to the field. Okay, and that is why it is mostly called as an applied science than it is a theoretical body of knowledge. And extension mostly deals with modifying the behavior of the people. Now, when I say behavior comprises of three components, namely knowledge, attitude, and skills. So, when I say extension in the agricultural context, it refers to modifying the people's knowledge, attitude, and skills with whom we work together. Okay, right. Now, extension also acts as a bridge between research system and the extension system. As you all know, we have three systems: research system, which generates technologies and information; the farmer system, or it is called as the client system, or nowadays it is called as the stakeholders, the people who are going to make use of our technologies and information. That is called as the farmer system. The third system is the extension system. Now, if you just arrange them in a row, the research system will come first, followed by the extension system, and lastly the farmer system. Now, the extension system is between the research system and the farmers. Thereby, it acts as a bridge. It means that it takes the technologies that have been generated as part of research, and it is passed on to the farmer system, or it is being transferred to the farmer system as transfer of technology. Okay, in that context, it acts as a bridge. Extension also refers to working with the people in order to help them to solve their own problems. That is another major way by which we can define extension. Extension never refers to working for the people. Please remember that there is a marked difference between working for the people and working with the people. You work along with the people, you act as a change agent, you act as a catalyst, you act as a facilitator in order to bring about changes in the minds of the people, the way they work, and bringing them together, mobilizing them and all that, so that they solve their problems by themselves. Okay, this is in general the meaning or the definition of extension education. Now, I am going to explain to you some of the extension efforts that has been taken in India right from the pre-independence era. In fact, I would like to classify our extension of efforts under 4 categories or 4 periods of time. The first is the pre-independence era, that is prior to 1947. The second period of time is post-independence era, and the period is 1947 to 1953, for a period of 6 or 7 years. The third period is community development and national extension service era, which stretches from 1953 to 1960. And finally, the intensive agricultural development era, that is beyond 1960, from 1960 onwards. Okay, right. Now, referring to the first pre-independence era. Now, pre-independence era was characterized by many efforts in order to bring about overall rural development, not only agriculture. Several individuals, based on their philanthropic nature and attitude, they initiated several programs by their own selves. And among them, I'd like to highlight 4 such attempts. The first attempt was called as the Gurgaon experiment, which was started by one Mr. F.L. Brain. He was Deputy Commissioner of Gurgaon district in Punjab in 1920, and during that time he initiated a project in that district, and the focus of the project was rural reconstruction. That was the focus. So his aim was to develop the rural areas in Gurgaon district. That was the same. With that in mind, the objective of the program that he proposed was development of agriculture. That was one of the major areas. Development of village industries, then promoting rural health, and these were the major areas or activities that were part of this Gurgaon experiment. Now, the second experiment which became very famous was the Sriniketan attempt, that was initiated by Rabindranath Tagore in the year 1908 at Shantiniketan. He created a rural reconstruction institute in that place in Shantiniketan, which covered 8 villages, and his focus was spirit of self-help. That was his focus, or in fact that was his philosophy or principle that he applied for this project. And the objectives were again conducting demonstrations in villages on agriculture, dairying, poultry, and besides that the focus was also on village industries. So trainings were conducted on tannery, trainings were held on tailoring and weaving and such are those handicrafts, and that was Sriniketan attempt. The third attempt which I want to highlight is the Sevagram attempt. As you all know, this was initiated by Mahatma Gandhi in the year 1921, and this initially was started as the All India Spinners Association, and that is how it was named. And this was based on the principle of Mahatma Gandhi that salvation of India lies in cottages. Based on that principle, this experiment was started. And the main objectives of this program was upliftment of the backward communities and providing basic education to the people. And there were many activities as part of this project, like providing basic education to the village people, improving their health conditions, providing sanitary facilities, upliftment of the backward communities, and also inculcating the patriotic ideals among the village people. These were some of the objectives or activities that were part of the Sevagram project. Now, the last initiative which I want to explain is the Marthandam project, which was initiated in the year 1921 by one Mr. Spencer Hatch. Spencer Hatch was an American agricultural expert, and he started this project at Travancore, erstwhile Travancore district, which is now part of Kerala. And he had several objectives, and the important ones are he wanted to promote agriculture in that area through self-help. That was very novel approach, and followed by development of village industries, community development, poultry development, and such of those objectives he had. He also initiated efforts to train the staff working in that project. The post-independence era, that is from 1947 to 1953, is characterized by four major programs, namely Grow More Food Campaign, Etava Project, Nilokari Project, and Community Development Project. The Grow More Food Campaign was started prior to independence but later revised in 1952. Under this program, targets for increased agricultural production were fixed for the first time on all India basis, but the program failed due to lack of people's involvement. The Etava pilot project was started in the Etava district in Uttar Pradesh in 1948 by Albert Mayer, an American engineer. The multi-purpose concept of village level worker was introduced for the first time under this project. The Community Development Project was launched in 1952 as a result of the Grow More Food Enquiry Committee report and the successful experience of the Etava project. Initially, 15 pilot projects were started in 1952 in selected states with financial assistance received from the Ford Foundation. Later, it was extended to 55 other community development projects. The main aim of these projects were to increase agricultural production, to tackle the problem of unemployment, to improve village communication, to foster primary education, public health and recreation, to promote indigenous handicrafts and small-scale industries. The third phase of development is called as the Community Development and National Extension Service Era, which is from 1953 to 1960. This includes the continuation of the Community Development Program and the launch of the new program called as the National Extension Service. The Community Development Program continued for the next 3 years since its launch. It made a significant impact on the rural people for their own development in all aspects of their day-to-day life. The people in all the CDP project areas responded enthusiastically, and considering the need for a rapid extension of the program to other parts of the country, the government therefore launched alongside another program which was less intensive in character called the National Extension Service Program. This program, the National Extension Service Program, was launched in the year 1953. Followed by that, the fourth period is referred to as the Intensive Agricultural Development Era. This period is from 1960 onwards. The major programs are the Intensive Agricultural District Program, popularly called as IADP, Intensive Agricultural Area Program, IAAP, High Yielding Varieties Program, Small Farmers Development Agency, Marginal Farmers and Agricultural Laborers Program, Drought Prone Area Program, Command Area Development Program, Integrated Rural Development Program, popularly known as IRDP, Training and Visit System, Training Rural Youth for Self-Employment, Development of Women and Children in Rural Areas, National Agricultural Extension Project, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, National Horticultural Mission, Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, and the National Agricultural Innovation Project called as NAIP. Now, I wish to highlight the Training and Visit System, popularly called as the TNV system. This Training and Visit System was a World Bank funded project and introduced during 1974, initially in Rajasthan and West Bengal. Later, the TNV system was extended to 16 states. The important features of this system include professionalism, single line of command, concentration of efforts, time-bound work, field and farmer orientation, regular and continuous training, and close linkages with research. Another unique program was the DWACRA. The expansion is development of women and children in rural areas, and this was started as part of the IRDP program, and it was popularly called as the Dwakra program. This was started in the year 1982-83. The main objective of Dwakra was to encourage income generating activities among women. As a result of the program, most of the rural women started earning some income, and that enabled to take care of themselves and the children's well-being. Besides the extension programs that now I have outlined, the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, that is the ICAR, and the state agricultural universities also undertake several extension activities. These activities that are carried out by the ICAR institutes and the agricultural universities put together is called as the first line extension. As you can realize from my presentation, the extension system and the extension programs have highly evolved over the years. At present, the strategy is demand-driven extension, precision farming, market extension, supply chain management, value chain management, agribusiness, technology-driven agriculture, and ICT-enabled extension. The ICT-enabled extension is of recent origin. As long as the extension system responds appropriately to the local needs of the farmers and other stakeholders, which is highly dynamic in nature, it is possible to have a robust and a relevant extension system in place. Thank you.